I got to throw out another question for you, Glenn, because at one point you said something to me I found very provocative, which was that if somebody did something wrong, you would let a lot of people know that, and that there was a lesson there. You want to elaborate?
Sure. This is a very provocative and controversial thing I do, and I would say that my culture and talent head is trying to wean me of this habit. But when someone makes a mistake, I'll typically take their mistake, or if it's in an email, and broadcast it to a lot of people and say what I think about it. Now, some people say, this is anything from cruel to unfair to, there's all kinds of adjectives to describe it. My issue is that if somebody makes a mistake, some people say you should take them aside quietly. There's this praise in public and, teach in private. And I think we've got that backwards in a sense, because if you make a mistake, what you want is you want everybody to know about it. You want everybody to know it was a bad thing. And then everybody learns. But if you say, oh, you made this bad mistake, you cost us a few $1 million or what have you, let's keep it quiet, then the person sitting next to him doesn't know. And they're likely to make that same mistake. Whereas when you broadcast an email, everybody knows and says, what a bad day, I'm never going to do that. And now the nice thing is, if you fire people because of that, that's a different issue. And we never do that. And so it's a little bit like the Thomas Watson, when somebody made this $10 million mistake, the legend goes, and they came in, they said, are you going to fire him? And he said, I just invested $10 million. Why would I fire him? And we have that same view. So we tell people to have a hardcore but a soft shell. And sometimes, you have a bad day, and that's the reality.
Well, I don't agree. I do believe in learning from mistakes. I think it's important that we recognize when there is an error and change. However, singling out somebody, because they did make a mistake and making it apparent to everybody, frankly, I think is demotivating. It reminds me, when I sold my first company, I sold it to a large publicly traded company, LabCorp. And as part of that deal, I had to work for a year. I had a year employment contract, which probably was the worst year of my life. I was ready to slit my throat. And one of the reasons was that nobody ever did anything. They were so afraid. They were afraid they were going to get chastised. They were afraid they were going to lose their job. It was all about CYA. And I think the beauty of an entrepreneurial company is not to have those fears, to take the chance, to take the risk. I mean, that's what it's all about. But then all of a sudden, if you start putting, all these recriminations on these people, and they say, uh-oh, well, maybe if I do this, I'm going to be tomorrow's email, and everybody in the company is going to know that I screwed up. I think it defeats the whole concept of being an entrepreneurial company.
So I would only challenge you for fun. I would only challenge you by saying that in the things we're most successful at in this country, we measure and we do it publicly.